Hi Capricorn, welcome to your August 2021 astrological forecast. The month starts off with the Sun and Mercury still in Leo. Where you have Leo in your chart is your 8th house. There's a new moon here on the 8th, so there's an awful lot of activity going on in your 8th house, which is the house of other people's resources and money. Money coming to you through means other than earning it. It's legacies, inheritances, insurance payouts, legal settlements. It's the bank, credit card companies, bank accounts. It's jointly held property or jointly held accounts with possibly a spouse or a business partner or anyone, actually, someone that you may own something with. Okay, so on that new moon of the 8th, it brings a new beginning in this area. Maybe you were, I don't know, there's really no other time that planets are here except for like now. There's no major planet really transiting here, right? But in your second house, where you have the sign of Aquarius, there are two planets, Jupiter and Saturn, both retrograde, transiting in your second house of how you earn your money. Okay, and there's actually a second full moon in Aquarius. Okay, the second time already the moon has been full in Aquarius on the 22nd. Okay, so the 2nd and 8th houses are directly across from each other. These are the money houses in your horoscope. So I would have to say that because you do have activity going on in your second house, that when these planets in Leo activate your 8th house, that there's something going on there with it's probably being brought to your attention that you have money coming to you in some way or other. Okay, a refund of some kind. Could be an inheritance or legacy or insurance payout, something like that. Okay, but maybe you are unaware of it at this time. You may even still own property or own something that maybe possibly belonged to your family even, but you weren't aware of it. This could be one of those times where you check out the Treasury Department or wherever it is that you live on this planet, some place where your government holds records that show that there's unclaimed property or unclaimed money. You know, there's still possibly a bank account hanging around out there that no one's ever accessed. So it's worth looking into, but something like that could happen around this time. Around that new moon of the 8th is when maybe you begin a search or some kind of even arrangement or agreement with someone that you're very close to. Could be a close friend, could be a family member, could be someone you're romantically involved with, but they give you access to whatever it is that they have, and vice versa. You decide to share, okay, what you both have. Now around this full moon on the 22nd though, you know, something could be going a little bit wrong in this area. You know, maybe you didn't get exactly what you thought you were going to get, or the amount that you were supposed to get even. You know, you may have to do a little bit more digging in order to get what is actually yours. It looks like, you know, it could even be maybe just a mix-up with like maybe paperwork or something like that for there's the reason for the delay. Maybe you might have to fill out a lot of, I don't know, forms or something like that, or prove your identity or whatever. But it's worth actually doing. But this could be a little bit of a surprise there around that full moon about money. Okay, and it could be money that you either share with someone, money that is yours, that is coming to you, or property or something like that. So, the Sun actually moves into Virgo on the 22nd, and Mercury moves into Virgo on the 11th. Venus is already in Virgo up until the 15th, and Mars is in Virgo all month, where you have Virgo in your chart is your 9th house, okay, of long distance travel and communications and higher learning and foreign contacts with people who live in another country, or in touch with their culture, or even possibly learning a foreign language at this time. But having Mars here makes you very energetic or actively doing whatever this house governs. And one of those things is long distance travel. If you're actually able to do something like that at this time. If not, you might be just planning some kind of trip somewhere in the future. But this is also the house of adventure. And that kind of travel, you know, possibly taking a trip to do something, or, you know, I don't know, search for hidden treasure or something or other, you know. So if you're not really able to do something like that right now, it's like in the works. It's something that you're trying to bring about eventually. Having Mercury here, though, this is the house of publishing and media. It is the written word, but it's more or less like written, such as in teachings or a novel, or some kind of document, possibly even. This is the house of legal matters. So you could actually be either learning something at this time or teaching something at this time. And it does involve like writing. Maybe even you are just writing something like a user manual, you know. So it requires some kind of instruction, not necessarily students. You know, maybe you are, you could be writing a book, you know, it could be a novel or something like that, but it could be anything. But this is when you would, like, either, I mean, it's something that more than likely you've already been working on. Okay, so this would be the time that it would be published. You would either submit it to a publisher or do a self-publishing thing yourself. You know, what do they call it? A vanity publishing. But it's, who knows? You know, I mean, it could just be something that you're not really willing to part with. You know, I mean, it would be a good idea to always copyright anything that you create, especially if it's something you've written. But there are ways to protect your own stuff, okay? So even at this time, you could be launching, let's say, like a podcast or a new website, something like that. So Venus actually moves into Libra on the 16th, and Mercury moves into Libra on the 30th, but we'll cover that next month because it happens so late in this month. But having Venus in your 10th house, that's where you have the sign of Libra, of your career and your professional and personal reputation. It's how people speak about you and write about you publicly, okay? But it's how you're known, and having Venus here means that people are actually acknowledging you right now, or recognizing you, or even just making statements such as, you know, usually when Venus is in your 10th house, people are critiquing your attributes as far as your physical body goes, not necessarily like your personality or anything. So you may feel like you're being picked apart a little bit, but people are talking about how, you know, beautiful eyes, hair, your style, something like that. Okay, so you could be a little bit of the topic of conversation right now, you know, as far as even getting back to this whole 9th house and possibly writing something, or, you know, putting it out there. Even if you just post something right now in social media, it could like really take off for some reason or other. So, and having Venus in your 10th house means that people are acknowledging it, okay? So all of these planets, all of the outer planets are in retrograde motion except for the planet Uranus, which will turn retrograde on the 19th. So all of the outer planets, Jupiter through Pluto, will be in retrograde motion. And that just means that the areas where they're transiting in your chart seem to slow down just a little bit, possibly no activity at all. But the best thing to do when planets are retrograde is review whatever you've learned during that time with that planet being there, and you can change your mind even, and you can also find out more information about something possibly that you weren't able to find out when the planet was in direct motion. So try again. I always tell people to try again when it comes to whatever. So having Uranus in your 5th house of romance and speculation and fun and creativity and entertainment of any kind, you know, games and just fun. You know, when this turns retrograde, you may sometimes having this planet here, period, makes you attracted to someone younger or older than you. Usually it's someone younger than you, okay? So, or someone that you would never really be attracted to before, or you have a relationship but there's no strings attached, you know, something like that. It's an on again, off again thing. It's almost like one of those same time next year kind of relationships where you only see each other once a year or every so often or something like that, okay? So maybe that's the way you wanted things, and now when this planet turns retrograde, you could be changing your mind a little bit. There could be some drawbacks to the whole arrangement that you may possibly have with somebody at this time if you're involved with anyone, actually, when it comes to romance. You could be having a little bit of second thoughts. So the best time to do something each month is when the moon is in your own sign, and the moon is in Capricorn on the 18th and 19th. The best time to lay low is when the moon is in your opposite sign, and your opposite sign is Cancer, and those dates are the 4th, 5th, and 6th. The best time for romance, creativity, recreation, fun, gambling, speculation, and anything to do with children is the 1st, 14th, 15th, 27th, 28th, and 29th. The best time for money is the 7th, 8th, 9th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. The best time for your career is the 11th, 12th, and 13th. And the best time for communication and travel is the 9th, 10th, 11th, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. I hope you enjoyed your astrological forecast for August. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Check out my weekly forecasts. Check out Ask Me a Question. It's in the description below there, below this video. And there's a link there also to my website if you would like to have your personal chart done. So hope to see you next week. Goodbye.